Today, we're going to take a step back and take a look at this because I'll tell you what, family, man, being in Cabo and just being around all of the leaders at this company, and they even brought in, a lot of outside voices to come talk about where real estate is going, to come help guide the leaders. And you know what almost every person was talking about in some way, shape, or form? Can you guys make a guess? It was AI,
AI.
right? See, some people were muted like AI. Yeah, they were all talking about AI in some way, shape, or form. And to me, it's just always fascinating to hear how other people are thinking, how people are seeing this. And with your guys' permission, I'm not going to get tactical today. I'm going to get a little bit more macro. Take a look at the big picture. If that's okay with you guys, just put yes in the chat. We're going to get into a little bit of tactics here, but I want us to step back and really take a look at where is this going? What are people saying? Because I was able to sit down with some of the biggest names in the industry and just hear what their thoughts are, their concerns, what they're seeing. And to me, I'm looking at this reinvigorated, excited about where this is going. So, getting started with one of the big topics a lot of people were talking about was agentic AI. Put on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you guys understand what agentic AI is? Put that in the chat. A scale of 1 to 10, how much do you guys know about agentic?
Lots of zeros there, Nick, including me.
Cheryl's an 8. I'm curious, Cheryl, do you want to unmute? It sounds like if you're an 8, you might be utilizing. I'm curious, what are some ways that you're utilizing it or understand agentic AI?
I just understand that it's able to, do
Yeah.
deep dives, and I've been working on CMAs just to make sure that it's really grasping more things than um, when we're doing researching different topics. So
Yeah.
that's what I've
I
been
love
doing.
it. No, I love it, Cheryl. And it is interesting. So I see a lot of zeros, which is, scale of 1 to 10. So, y'all really went for it. Somebody put a zero, like, yeah, that's where I'm at. So that's good to know. So essentially, I'll try to break this down as simple as I can, right? And Tina's at a 7. Tina, I'm curious, are you utilizing it? Are you, is it more the understanding? I'm just curious to see where some of these people are at. Tina, what do you got for us if you want to unmute?
I use it every day,
Yeah.
all day long. It's helping me write far better than I have ever. And I'm a writer. I was a journalist early on in my career,
Yeah.
publisher, and I run everything through it. I ask it questions. I ask it to give me CMAs, broker opinions. I compare it with my own. I don't just blindly trust him
Yeah.
because he does make mistakes.
Mhm.
But so I use it every day for real estate. I mean, for just helping myself be an extension of myself.
So are you using agentic AI where your computer is running the tasks and it's like an employee that you can
Yes.
text and then it runs these things for you and goes on your computer, just to be clear?
Yes. Every
Okay.
Monday he writes me an update for new construction
Yeah.
and mortgage issues. He's not perfect. I mean, I have to
Yeah.
go in and massage it a little bit. I don't just blindly let him send it
Yeah.
out. I take it and then I could automate it for him to email it out, but
Yeah.
I just decided to massage it myself first with my own touch on it. I don't want it to sound like AI either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
he's learned me.
that's
He's
good
Yeah,
because,
he's definitely learned me.
it is tough because, AI is prone to hallucinations. So that's a whole nother topic with that. So no, that's great, Tina. So essentially, Chat GPT, Claude, like how you guys talk to it back and forth is generative AI. What does that mean? You have to go in there and we have to generate a response, right? You talk to it back and forth. But the moment I stop talking to it, it stops doing work, right? So this is generative AI. Agentic AI is much more of like an employee. It gets access to your computer, to your computer to literally go out there and do work while you're not there. So if you're saying, hey, every Monday it has tasks, it has information, be able to send you over information, it'll go out there and actually do the work and send it back to you. You can connect it through places like Telegram, like WhatsApp, and literally message it back and forth. And you just text it and it goes out there and does work and then it brings things back to you. Agentic is having your computer, literally it gives access to your computer and it's doing work for you while you're not there. Can I get make sense in the chat if that generally makes sense to you guys? Because I'm trying to break it down. We could get really deep into like all like what agentic means and go down the path. But that's essentially what it is, where it's doing work for you while you're not there. So going down this path, this is a big topic that a lot of people are talking about. Because now it's like it could have access to the MLS, it could have access to your email, it can have access to your calendar, it could have access to all the information that's online and continually do work for you. And what many people are predicting is that this will take the place of almost all of the computer work that you do within real estate. Think of every single task that you do on the computer that can now be done through agentic AI. Are we at the place where you can just completely let it loose? Not really. There's still a lot of hallucinations. It does take the right setup. There has to be proper guardrails in place. And I was a little, as much as people were talking about agentic AI, that was a topic that wasn't discussed as much. Like proper setups of this. One, like if you're going to go this route, and this is something that we will be discussing on this call. The reason I have not yet is because a lot of guardrails aren't in place. And I like what I want to talk about with this, I hope doesn't scare you from this. I want you guys to be more informed. That's my goal. Because just jumping into this blindly without the right thoughts and the right setup can lead to some harm for your business as well. For example, just really think about this. If you were going to deploy agentic AI, would you want it to have access to everything that is on your computer and be able to run and do whatever it wants? Right? Improper setups of this include just blindly setting it up on your actual computer without the right system. Why? Well, that means it would have access to my bank accounts, right? Because my passwords and everything is on this computer. It would have access to all of my crypto, which is a big thing that some of the places that they're looking to steal from. Why? Because it's not tracked. So there's a lot of different, they call it malware, which is essentially the agentic AI is prone to, it is literally set up to do these things. And then you could go online and you can download an AI agent from a website. And actually, through OpenClaw, there was a website that had all of these AI agents that were people were going on and downloading and using. And the number one downloaded agentic AI had malware on it. Meaning somebody on the internet who's very smart was able to set it up and make it look so pretty, but they included different things inside of there that were literally set up to do harm to you. So when you're doing these things, just some things to consider. And look, we will be going deeper on this within the Freedom team, but we will go deeper in it in a way that gets set up correctly in Cloudflare, which is essentially in the cloud. So it's not directly onto your computer, right? Because if it's on your computer, it has access to everything. Cloudflare, you can set it up with its own email account. That way, it's not your email. You can set it up with its own credit card. So that way, it's not your direct credit card. There's so many different ways that like the proper setup of this really matters. And it's understanding this. Tom Ferry's AI. Yeah, they're working on some things. And here's one of the speakers. And I'm actually going to bring up one of the quotes that he was talking about. So what he was talking about is that he was talking about agentic AI and where this is going. And eventually, this is what his prediction is. 90% of what you do in real estate can be done through agentic AI. 90%. That's what he's predicting, where agentic AI is going. Because if you think about it, literally everything you do on the computer can be done through agentic AI, which leaves 10%. And I thought that was interesting because, then I got to talk to a lot of agents and a lot of people that were there. Some of them thought, oh, that means that agentic AI will do 90% of the transactions. That's not the case. That's not what he was saying. What he was saying is the workload will be done 90% through agentic AI, which leaves 10%, which I thought was interesting. And it's hard to dispute that, especially with how things are going. And that might scare some people. And it might get you just running to this part of the process. But I want to talk about something today I want to talk about survivorship basis. Is anybody here familiar with survivorship basis? It was something that they coined and it really came out during World War II. And what it was essentially was, they were studying all the planes that were coming back, right? So the planes would go out and some planes would come back. And what a lot of people looked at were the planes that came back, they were like shot up in different areas of the plane. Their first thought was, okay, so they're coming back. We need to work on, insulating, properly getting the parts of the plane that are shot up, like more covered, right? Because they're coming back. Here is all the places the planes are shot. We need to cover these parts of the plane. But then there was somebody that came in and said, no, that's actually not the case. Why? Because these planes made it back. The planes that didn't make it back most likely were shot in other areas. So we need to actually insulate the parts of the plane that weren't shot up that actually came back. So like here was so this is survivorship basis. So most people would think, hey, these parts of the plane were shot. We need to insulate and protect these parts, all the red parts. But then they came and said, no, these planes made it back, which means the planes can still fly if these parts are shot. So we need to work on protecting these other areas. Now, it makes sense in the chat if this makes sense to you guys, where everybody's focused on like, what are all these areas? But no. You got to actually protect the engines more, because if the engines are shot, there's no way it's making it back. And this is where I believe the proper thinking on all of this really matters. The proper thinking. And, one of the tools I used here was Notebook LM. So what I had Notebook LM do is I had to research survivorship basis throughout here. And then I had to create some graphics for me. And I even had to create a video for us that I believe we can watch. I haven't actually watched it yet. I was creating right before this call because I was interested in this topic. But this is how I want to apply survivorship basis to the conversation of this 90% of the business being done through agentic AI, which leaves 10%. So here's what I want to ask you guys. What is your 10%? What is your 10% that cannot be replaced by agentic AI? Because a lot of us might think, oh my gosh, I need, look, will we all have to learn agentic AI? Absolutely. It will be deployed in all of our businesses, period. If you're going to survive, it will be deployed in your business and it will be working for you. What that means is there will be 10% of the tasks that you will be directly responsible for. And what that tells me is that 10% is actually the most valuable part of your job. Cannot be replaced by agentic AI. So yeah, this was a graph that it created. This is actually pretty cool, right? I was able to come up with the idea, work with Notebook LM, and it created an infograph for me. Would you guys like to see how I created this just quickly, like going through this? So Notebook LM is actually with Zillow. They actually partnered with Notebook LM to give buyers the opportunity to do their own research, create their own graphs, create their own information. And it's literally helping buyers use AI to become more informed. So let's see, Notebook LM. Well, all right. So Notebook LM, here is how it works. Well, sometimes it doesn't work. That's AI, right? It's not always there. Up. All right, so it's not working right now. So that's good to know. But essentially, here's what it does. It's like a research tool that can take the information that you have, where you can research marketplaces, you can research neighborhoods, and then simply create infographic. And then it created this for me. So it ran all of the research for me, and it's able to create infographics. And it's also to create, let me actually share my sound. We're going to watch this here together. It's a 6-minute video that it created. So let's see what this is.
World that's getting more and more automated by AI, what is it about you that's truly irreplaceable? What's your secret sauce? That's what we're going to dig into today, finding your unique human 10%. The whole conversation around AI, no matter the industry, it pretty much sounds like this. On one hand, you've got people like...
What's interesting about this too is I don't think these are real people. So I'm watching this now for the first time with you guys. I believe it made up these stats. It may have taken it from research it's done. So I'll have to look into this more, but we will
Nancy
see that.
Tallman, who are confident saying, hey, the human touch, you just can't replace it. But then on the other side, you have experts like Alan Dalton, and he's saying, look, AI isn't going to replace you, but it is going to create a huge gap between the pros who get it and the ones who don't. But what if they're both kind of missing the most important piece of the puzzle? Yeah, to really figure out where we should be putting our energy, we actually need to step away from all the tech talk for a second and look back to a really brilliant lesson that was learned under the incredible pressure of World War II. And the key idea here is something called survivorship bias. It's this mental trap we all fall into where we make big decisions by only looking at the winners, right? The success stories, the things that survived, and we completely ignore all the failures, mostly because, well, they're not around to tell us what went wrong. And this can lead to some seriously flawed thinking. So here's the story of how this played out. During WWI, the Allies were losing a just devastating number of bomber planes over Europe. They had this massive problem. They needed to add armor to the planes, but you can't armor the whole thing or it's just too heavy to even get off the ground. They had to be smart about it. So the big question was, where do you put the armor? So the military did what seems like the most logical thing in the world. They collected the data, they went over every single bomber that actually made it back to base, and they mapped out precisely where all the bullet holes and shrapnel hits were. They were looking at the survivors to find the answer. And the data they gathered was crystal clear. The planes that came back were just peppered with bullet holes all over the wings, across the main body, and on the tail. But there was one area that was consistently, weirdly, clean. The engines. Almost no damage at all. So the answer is obvious, right? Just add more armor to the wings and the tail. That's where the planes were clearly getting hit the most. It's where they were most vulnerable. It makes perfect sense. But it was completely, totally wrong. And then this statistician, a guy named Abraham Wald, he looked at the exact same data and he came to the exact opposite conclusion. He told the military to ignore the bullet holes. He said, armor the areas where the returning aircraft were unscathed. Put the armor where there's no damage, specifically the engines. And this is where it all clicks. It's just brilliant. Wald realized the military was falling right into the survivorship bias trap. See, the bullet holes on the planes that came back didn't show the plane's weaknesses. They showed where a plane could get hit and still survive to fly home. The reason they never saw bullet holes in the engines of the survivors was simple. Any plane that got hit in the engine, well, it never came back. The most critical data was the data they couldn't see. It's a really cool piece of history for sure, but what on earth does it have to do with you and your career today, with AI? Well, it turns out it has everything to do with it. Because right now, almost everyone is making the exact same mistake the military did. We are all looking at the wrong bullet holes. Think about it. All the advice you hear right now is learn how to use AI, learn prompt engineering, learn the tools. And look, that stuff is important, don't get me wrong, but focusing only on that is like adding armor to the bullet-riddled wings. It's what everyone who's surviving the AI transition is doing. It's what's visible. It's necessary, sure, but it is not the thing that's actually going to save you. The real, lasting, game-changing advantage is armoring your engine. It's about figuring out and doubling down on the core, irreplaceable human skills that AI just can't touch. Those are the skills that, if you lose them, your career doesn't make it back to base. So let's get specific. What is your engine? Let's break down the skills that AI really can't replace. Some recent research from the AI company Anthropic actually gives us a really big clue. They found that while, some white-collar office jobs have a high theoretical exposure to AI, a full 30% of workers in the US are in what they call zero-exposure jobs. And these are jobs built around things AI just doesn't have: a physical body, sensory judgment, real-time in-person interaction. So your engine is made of skills like these: real emotional intelligence, the subtle art of negotiation and persuasion, that hyper-local, on-the-ground knowledge you can only get from experience, solving a messy, unexpected problem on the fly. That sensory judgment, like reading the room or just knowing quality when you see it. And maybe the biggest one of all, building genuine human trust and connection. AI is making a lot of the technical stuff way, way easier. And that brings us to...
I want to pause on this because I think this is a good point. How cool is this, guys? I literally was able to do research through Notebook LM, tell it my stance on this, be able to gather information and click, create a video. And this is the video it created. That's literally all I did. I had Notebook LM research it. And then I just said, hey, create this video. Here's my stance. Here's how we want it to be perceived. And it went in and created this. And I think this right here is a great point to exactly what I'm discussing. Once a task is so easy, anyone can do it, it is no longer a valuable skill. Creating a video like this is no longer a valuable skill. Right? Anybody can do it at a click of a button. So let's continue.
About value. Once a task becomes so easy that pretty much anyone can do it, it's just not a valuable skill anymore. You have to move on. The skills that make up your engine, they're the exact opposite of easy, and that's why they're your new currency. Let's just zoom in on one of those for a second. Emotional intelligence. And this isn't just about being nice. It's the critical skill of guiding someone through the anxiety, the stress, the excitement that comes with any huge life decision. Buying a house, launching a company, you name it. A chatbot can spit out data all day long. It cannot provide real empathy. It can't be a guide on that emotional roller coaster. Okay, so how do you actually put this into practice? It all comes down to finding your 10%, that core of what you do that is uniquely, deeply human, and then armoring it for the future. Here's the simple way to think about it. Step 1, figure out the routine 90% of your job, the paperwork, the first drafts, the data crunching, and let AI help with that. Step 2, get absolutely obsessed with developing that special 10% that requires your human insight. And step 3, use that focus to totally shift your role. Stop being just a facilitator of transactions and become a trusted, indispensable consultant. That's the number, 10%. That's what really matters. Not the 90% that's going to become a commodity, but the 10% that is your engine. That is your advantage. That is your future. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Forget about all the bullet holes everyone else is looking at. Take a hard look at your own career, your own skills, and ask yourself, what is my engine? What is my 10%?
So here, I'll show you guys. So now that this is open over here, this is literally all I did. I searched the web, gathered the information, and then I clicked. Let's see, video. You'll see, I put in my prompt. So just like, hey, I want you to focus on this, portray it this way. And I clicked generate. That was it. This is Notebook LM, guys. I created an infographic. How? By selecting, where's the infographic? Right here. Clicking infographic. That's how I created this. That's it, right? It's not this long prompt. To learn this tool, you got to prompt it. You got to get the spelling right. You got to go in detail. It is as simple as, here's the information I want to collect, or I can add my own. So if you want to add data, MLS data, information about something, upload it into here. You can select infographic. You can select video. You can select audio and create a podcast at a click of a button. Click of a button, guys. And now, I want to keep going here. This is what Zillow is now giving your buyers. The ability to collect their own data. Hey, tell me about this market. Tell me about the housing. Tell me about the update. And it collects it and it gives it back to them. And it'll create graphics. It'll create updates. It can create a video for them.
Excuse me, Nick.
I want to continue down my train of thought. We'll get to some questions here towards the end. But look, guys, you guys enjoy that video? Put yes or no in the chat. I'm just curious because I thought it was pretty cool. It was literally at a click of a button. Collect the data, get the information, and this is what you can do. Imagine if you created one of these for your different home buyers every single time, going through the process, sellers, and be able to create this. That's one way of thinking, right? It's something that you can do. But this is what I want you guys to think leaving this. What is your 10%? What is it that you do that AI cannot? Because everybody is focusing on AI. And again, like the video said, it's not the wrong way of thinking. We do have to integrate with AI. We do have to get these things set up in the right, proper way. But I will tell you what, family, I don't know. Has anybody here been using Chat GPT since it came out? Or just put in the chat, when did you guys really get involved and start using chat? Almost every single day. Chat GPT, Grok, Perplexity, whichever tools. I'm curious, about a year ago. All right, 2 years ago, last year, over a year. Think about how far it's come since that time. How much better it's gotten. How much easier it is to complete tasks. On Claude, I can literally go onto Claude right now. I will show you guys one of my chats. Let me see. I will pull it up. Website. I did this on another class that I did. Just showing you guys how freaking simple it is to do some things now. I just wanted to show everyone how simple it is. I literally just went in there and said, make me a website for www.creme.ai. So what did it do? It researched my website, pulled my information, and here we go. Created this website for www.creme.ai. Now I can just ask it then, hey, can you code this for Go High Level? And it will code it for Go High Level, get the right schema in place, and I can just literally insert it into my Go High Level account. You can do this for anything. Just say, hey, here's the listing. Create me a website for this. Create you a website for it. The reason I'm bringing that up is, look, family, everything is getting democratized. Everything is getting so freaking simple to do. And it is only getting easier, exponentially easier at that. So, I mean, like just thinking about chat, like before I'd have to go into Chat GPT or go into one of these places and say, hey, I want to build a website for this. Can you pull information? And it will ask you a bunch of information. Then it will write a bunch of code. And then you have to figure out the code to then go put on a website to figure out how it all works. Now I can literally just ask it, hey, create a website for this. And then tell it where the button should go. And it does it. And pretty soon, Agentic AI is going to be able to do all that and then some. So I ask you again, right? What is your 10%? Because with all this getting easier and easier and easier to do, you will be able to do this at literally a sentence. Hey, I want this created for me. And it will create it for you. And here's the other big piece. And I will stand on this because I believe, again, I want to look at this differently. Because a lot of people are saying AI is not going to take your job. Somebody using AI will. Has anybody heard that phrase? And they actually say AI is not going to take your job. An agent using AI is going to take your job. Put yes in the chat if you guys have heard somebody say that. It's a great marketing play, right? Great marketing play. Gets people a little bit of fear, like, oh, AI is going to take my job. Well, first of all, I just want to say this. AI has no inclination to take your job. It's just a program, right? Like, let's just get that. Where people are afraid of AI, it's not AI, it's the people using it, right? But I want to open your mind to a different train of thought, because I don't think it's an agent using AI that's going to take your job. I believe the AI-powered consumer will take out more agents than the AI-powered agent. I'll say that again. The AI-powered consumer will take out more agents than the AI-powered agent, because we are all going to have this technology at the tip of our fingers with simple sentences to create anything we want. And it's really wild because it's just getting so much easier to do. So much easier to do. But the consumer is getting the same technology, right? It's not like we live in this bubble where only real estate agents are getting this tech. The consumer is getting it too. It's integrated into Chat GPT. It's integrated into Zillow. Heck, if you go to right now, homes.com, they have their main thing here is, let's see, it's this one. Introducing a home search guided by Homes AI. Every website's going to have this. Every brokerage is going to have it. A home search program that is guided through AI. And what does that do? It kind of eliminates a lot of things that agents would provide to people. Graphics, stats, information, all at the tip of their fingers, provided to them at ease. And then, by the way, guys, if you guys haven't started using My Listing Buddy, use it. So My Listing Buddy, make sure that you click keep in sidebar. This writes your listing descriptions in a way that is AEO and GEO friendly, meaning answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization. It's extremely important that every one of your listing descriptions is created through here. Because if AI cannot easily find your home, the people who are using these AI search tools, AI finds things in a different way, right? So let's just say, for example, I'll go to Zillow. Let's just say this is the home. I'll just show you guys how this works here briefly. So here's the information on the home, and I go to Chat GPT and I say, create a listing description. I'm just going to ask you some questions. And my company has specifically trained this tool to write your listing descriptions in a way that make it searchable through AI. And as I'm going through this, let me see. I have another tab open here. Another tab open. Look, these are just stats for you guys because I'm a big numbers guy. 82, like this is not projections. One of them is 48%. But last year, 82% of Americans used AI to get housing information. So 82% of Americans claim they use AI in some way, shape, or form for housing info, whether it's asking about the market, asking about trends, asking about homes. They're saying 48% of buyers will use AI tools in 2026. 48%, that's half the market. That number's only going up. So the people that are going here, my question is, do you want to lose out on 48% of the buyers because your listing description and your marketing isn't optimized in a way that allows AI to be able to find it? Little food for thought. That's something you could tell your clients too. Something as simple. And this is where, how well are you able to articulate your value? I believe this goes to the 10%. How well are you able to properly articulate your value to the client? Because do you guys know the number one complaint against real estate agents? It's no longer lack of communication. It is, I felt like I knew more than my real estate agent. That is now the number one complaint against real estate agents. I felt like I knew more than my real estate agent. Is it a coincidence that happens starting in 2022? Because AI is here and people can go ask answers, get answers on command. Now it's getting integrated into all the platforms, which empowers the buyers, which empowers the sellers, gives them information at their fingertips. And newsflash, AI gives them answers very confidently, even if it's wrong, right? Look, the dumbest person you know is going to Chat GPT and it's saying, you're absolutely right on anything that they want to discuss. So here we go, my listing buddy. So to ask these questions, you copy and paste the information, right? And then great, I still need some more information. It's going to ask me for the address, pricing, and other information. So let's see, here's the address. Let's go 310,000. Nick Krem, EXP Realty. Good information to give. Nearby to Highway Access 71 South. Nearby the Brunswick schools. 5 minutes from downtown Brunswick. You will notice just some simple differences. So here we go, how it writes it. It'll go bullet point version first, and then I'll show you guys the paragraph version. I want you guys to see this. And here's the thing. Because of this, my listing buddy, you don't have to write these ever again, right? Like, how cool is that? You literally never have to write another listing description a day in your life. And this is optimized for AEO and GEO. But notice the difference. It is no longer welcome to this home, right? That's written for humans to welcome them to the experience. No, AEO, answer engine optimization, which means you optimize for the question the person is searching, because they are literally just going to ask AI something like this. Hey, is there a 3-bedroom home in Brunswick near the schools, highway access, and downtown? That's probably what somebody searching for a home like this will look up. So how is your listing description written? You optimize for the question they will most likely ask, and then clearly state, this is it. Really important there, guys, because you are optimizing for what AI is looking for based on the question the buyer would be looking for. And now, look, AI doesn't want to work harder than it has to. I will say that again. AI doesn't want to work harder than it has to. So if AI has to go to your listing description and figure out, does this fit, and do research on it, it'll be like, well, it can process things really quickly. It'll process all the listings at a moment's glance. And yours will literally say, question, answer. They'll be like, holy crap, this is exactly what they said. And here's the answer. This is exactly what you're looking for. And they'll go back to the buyer and say, this is it. Can I get yes in the chat if that makes sense to you guys? Guys, something as simple as that, right? Like it's so simple. But again, to me, this is where, what is your 10%? How well are you able to articulate your value? And going to your client and letting them know, like, hey, about 50% of buyers are using AI in their home search in 2026. And I have a tool that makes sure your home is optimized for AI search. So that way we capture not 50% of the buyers, but all 100% of them. Everybody can use my listing buddy, but are you able to articulate your value? on a way that the client understands, like, oh my gosh, I never even thought of that. What is your 10%? How well are you able to articulate your value? Because I will tell you what, family, telling your clients that, hey, I have agentic AI that talks to all of my leads, including you. They don't really care about that. Is it important to an extent? Yes. But I think there are some people that are going to try to automate their 10%, which is your most valuable skill. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have automations in place to, speed the lead and all this information, but just really understand what you are doing. So going through that, I just think that's important to know. And then, there's other stories coming out too. I'm going to share this one with you guys. Let's check this out. And let's see, this has 171,000 views on this one video.
We use ChatGPT for a lot of things, but would you use it to sell your home? A South Florida father said, sure, why not? Before scheduling an open house, he relied on an open algorithm using ChatGPT and artificial intelligence throughout the entire home sale process. And he says it saved him tens of thousands of dollars. It's this week's Innovation on 6.
So this is the house. We're really going to miss it.
After 15 years in his Cooper City home, Robert Levine decided it was finally time to sell. But instead of contacting a real estate agent, he turned to the power of the prompt. ChatGPT.
I really wanted to challenge myself to use AI for the entire journey, not just piecemeal, every step along the way.
The married father of 3 says he used artificial intelligence for everything. The planning, the pricing, the marketing, even the paint.
We repainted a couple of rooms in the house because ChatGPT said that's where you're going to get the biggest return on investment. The most important thing it did for us was build out a timeline. Here's when you need to start packing your house.
ChatGPT helped Robert design the marketing materials like his open house handout and the online listing. Then told him how to get his home listed on the MLS, the multiple listing service, scheduled his showings, and suggested the best day to list his home.
We ended up listing on a Tuesday.
Turned out to be terrific timing.
And I think within the first 72 hours, we had 5 offers on the home already, which was tremendous.
The Levines still held the open house scheduled for that following Saturday, but by Sunday morning, 5 days after listing their home, they had a signed contract. A contract generated by, you guessed it, ChatGPT.
It's exceeded our expectations.
Robert did hire a lawyer to review the contract and other legal documents, but other than that, his AI assistant did all the heavy lifting. So why did he do it? One of his biggest motivations was saving money.
We estimate that leveraging these AI tools will save us about 3% of the total sale price, which in our case is a meaningful amount of money.
Robert stresses that every case is different, and AI isn't going to replace realtors, but it is a part of our evolving world, including real estate.
The impact they make is very real. And some folks maybe aren't prepared to do that themselves, but the more you use it.
So I ask you again, what is your 10%? The AI powered consumer, it's coming. It's like the elephant in the room that people aren't looking at. It's like the parts of the plane that everyone's seeing get shot up. I need to use this in my business. I need to automate this. You need to dive deep into this tool and spend more time behind your computer and less time talking to people because you need to learn this. When in reality, it's getting democratized. It's getting easier to use. It's getting so simple to create anything that you want, right? If you learned how to create chatbots 2 years ago and spent $5,000 on a course to figure out how to build your own chatbot, just to find that it's going to be put into every single CRM, be pretty much given to you. And now you just spend all that time behind a computer when you could have went out there and been talking to people. And again, I hope this message isn't coming across like ignore AI. It's all going to be done for me. That's not the case. We will be going into agentic workflows. If you guys stay here with the Freedom team inside of these calls, we will be going into that. I promise you, it's going to be a lot simpler than you think. A lot simpler. We're going to show you how to set it up in a simple, safe, secure manner. Going through this process. Can't tell you it'll be tomorrow, right? Like that's not the case. But you may need to take some bullet holes around the way, saying, you know what? I'm going to set it up right. I am going to go through this. I'm not going to ignore it. But also secure your engines, guys, right? Secure your engines. Work on your, like, really give that some thought when you guys leave this call. What is your 10%? What are your skills that AI cannot replace? I'll say, based on this video, the AI-powered consumer isn't coming, it's already here. 48% of buyers are using AI in their home search. 82% of people are using AI in their home market, like in their, like looking up real estate information. I believe on a past call, we went over how you guys can be found through ChatGPT, right? How you guys can be found through Perplexity. You can't be scared of it. You're absolutely right, Caleb. Don't be scared of AI. AI doesn't care about your job. It's just a tool. So with all this being said, look, I think it's like really, let's reframe this. I believe like you get what you think about most of the time. Here's a real simple frame. AI is coming to take your job. Yeah, I choose not to participate in that. The same way when somebody says it's a bad market. Yeah, I choose not to participate. It's really that simple. That's my frame. Oh, AI is going to take your job? Not mine. Keep moving on. The job apocalypse, it's going to happen. No, not to me. It's really that simple. And then go out there and adapt. And I just believe like you get what you think about most of the time. You get what you think about most of the time. If you live in fear in AI, and you know what's crazy about that? If you live in fear of AI, you'll start watching more videos about the fear of AI, and the algorithm's really smart. You will start seeing more videos about the fear of AI. That's just how it works. I hope we all know that's how the algorithm works, right? The algorithm is made to pry on your fears. So if you're fearful of something, you will see more videos and content on it. And then you will start believing it. And then you'll start buying into it. For better or worse, that's how the algorithm works. They know what keeps you on their platform. So going into this, I think it's such an exciting time to be alive. I mean, just think about this. Another reframe on this. Oh my gosh, it's going to be able to do 90% of your job. Who here likes staying behind the computer all the time? Right? Like, who likes staying behind the computer and just not talking to people and doing all the admin tasks? Like, does anybody here love that part of it? Maybe some people do. They like the computer more than talking to people. But I would guess a lot of real estate agents say, man, I just wish I could talk to more people and not do all this work. Well, guess what? Wish granted. This is where we're going. So are you going to choose to be fearful of the AI? Choose to spend all of your time learning every single bit, like end of this? Or will you simply adapt to what's coming and go out there and talk to people? Work on the human element. Work on your articulation of your value. So I believe, more than just going through how our agents getting found on AI. Oh, we did cover that. There you go, guys. And just for the record, like, this is working like gangbusters. I'm extremely excited about that program, what we're doing, helping agents get found through AI search. Because again, the AI powered consumer, it's no longer top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. It's essentially bottom of funnel or nothing is where we're headed. Because they will ask AI questions about the market. They will ask questions about AI, how to sell their home and do things. And then if they choose to work with a real estate agent, they will just simply ask AI, their most trusted advisor, who should I work with? And we'll give them probably one or two answers. And here's an example of this. If I go on to ChatGPT, I'm going to do this in real time for you guys. So one of the clients that we are working with, she's Jessica Ford. She's at EXP. Who is the best person for luxury relocation specialist? Who is the best? Let's see. Who is the best luxury relocation specialist in Tulsa, Oklahoma? And I hope, since I'm doing this real time, I'm hoping Jessica Ford is going to pop up. So let's see who AI recommends. If I could spell right too. Oh, look at that. Number one, Jessica Ford. And yes, she is getting leads off of this. Yes, people are calling her. But look, it doesn't give them a bunch of answers, does it? 1, 2, 3. ABC 1, 2, 3. But 1, 2, 3. 3 answers. Number one. And look at that. So part of this process is getting referenced on other websites. Why? Because an AI is like, wow, they must be an expert. Other people are talking about her. So what do we start doing for our clients? We started writing articles and blogs for them on a third-party source to get them sourced through these different places. Little cheat code that we're doing. But like, people are just going to go and ask these tools for information, go and ask these tools about their life. And Another fun fact, 2026, something pretty massive is coming. It's called an AI agent that you will carry around with you. It's a screenless device, and it will be just agentic AI built into this device. It will always be listening. It will be in your pocket at all times. You might say, oh, I don't want something listening all the time. Well, newsflash, these already do. I don't know if I'm the one that's breaking it to you, but like we gave that up a long time ago, right? So never underestimate humans' desire for convenience. Why do people pay $20 more for Uber Eats? Because it's easier. Convenience. This AI agent will know all like the things you like, the things you don't like, and he can say, "Hey, agent," or whatever you want to call him. I'll call him Kevin. Hey, Kevin, I want to go out to eat. Where should I go? It knows I like outdoor music. It knows I like eating outside. It knows I like, let's just say, Italian food. So like, hey, there's a great restaurant right down the street from you. It actually has live music tonight. You want me to put it into Google? You want me to set a reservation? Yeah, go ahead and do that. Done. Who wouldn't want something like that? When we talk about, look, innovation happens at the speed of adoption. Innovation happens at the speed of adoption. That is when you're going to see a mass adoption of this technology with people. Because when it is as simple as just talking to it, and it gives you instant answers, it knows what you like, and it always says you're right. How many people are going to take that up? So Johnny Ive, the guy who helped design the iPhone, the Mac computer, and Sam Altman, they teamed up. They're launching it here at the end of 2026, $100 million in their first production. AI power consumer. It's not coming, it's already here. And we're going to see a mass adoption of this. They'll ask you for housing info. They'll ask about information. They'll be like, hey, who should I work with? And it will give them 1, 2, or 3 answers. And probably, like most people, they'll be like, I want to work with number 1. Because I believe the AI-powered consumer will take out more people than the AI-powered agent. I firmly believe that.
Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills, yeah, we're